Hey guys, what's crack-a-lackin'? What's happening? What's crackin'? Crack. Right? Yeah! So what's up, guys? Is everybody doing alright? Hope everybody's doing good. Yeah, happy Mother's Day to everybody. I forgot to add something to my title. I may try to pop in there real quick and add it. We've had a big earthquake also. And this is actually something that I was going to talk about anyway. We see earthquake upticks, okay, with all this stuff that's going on. And I just want to make sure that we give it the right amount of attention. And that's what we're going to do, right? Now, okay, cool. 5 for 5. Hello to everybody. Thank you guys for all the... Hey, Planet Hermit, thank you again for that big super chat. So generous. If anybody wants to become a member, please do. We will be doing... we will be doing a giveaway of some Sunspot cards, believe it or not. And I've been planning this for a couple weeks now. So if you want to become a member, come over to the memberships, do that, and we're going to do that over there. And we're also going to give away a couple decks, just to everybody else. I'm going to be doing a random number generator. And, if you go back and watch a couple videos back, I pointed out the video. I want everybody to go, leave a comment under. So if you could, guys, if one of my mods can grab that link to that, I would much love it if you could put it in the chat. So what I'll do is whoever left comments, yeah, I'll put that number in a random number generator live, and I'll hit that button, and I'll send you guys out some cards. Planet Urban, I'm sending you one out anyway, because that you left that such a generous super chat. And then that stream got all screwed up because of all the stupid stuff we've been dealing with. I just want to make sure that you guys, I just really felt bad about that. That was something. And anybody that also left a gift of memberships, I'm going to go back and look, and I'll see what I can do. I haven't checked my emails. I've just been so busy. And again, happy Mother's Day, guys. But I hope you guys are, well, thank you. Thank you again, Planet Hermit, for 10 gifted memberships. Wow. Thank you. I'm using my other, everybody tell him thanks who got those, please. I'm using my other computer today because I'm in a better spot. So I haven't got that, that overlay put here yet. The extension so I can highlight the messages so it'll show up on screen. I am sorry about that. You can still see it in the chat. It's just I haven't had time to do that yet. So, okay. So, what did we end up with, guys? And do we have more stuff coming? Yes, we absolutely do have more stuff coming. And with that being said, this thing was it was big, okay? You guys seen it live right here, the effects that it was having on just my little wages world over here, effects on the internet service and stuff like that. And it really wasn't, I'm not even sure if it was the service. It was more so the effects on like my router. I think that was a bigger part of my problem here. But it was seen everywhere. Okay, the same live stream that I was on, people that were live at the same exact time, anywhere close to where I live, was having the same issues. And even not even close to where I live, like across the country. So, that's what I'll say to that. Now, they finally updated this front page here over at NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center. And again, guys, look what you're seeing. Okay, this is the storm. And we did fall out of it earlier today. It would have been about, I don't know, a little bit after, but anywhere between 6 and 9 UTC. And you just subtract 4 hours, or add 4 hours. No, subtract 4 hours if you live on the East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. So you can kind of adjust, yourself that way. Now, So what we're going to talk about, guys, is what, I'm just going to kind of give you an update and kind of go over what exactly happened. And, there's not a whole lot of question of what happened. It just happened, right? And right now, I look for us to be heading into another geomagnetic storm within the next few hours. And not just because this 3-hour plot point, okay? See how it's going back up now? The main reason for me, because I look at that, but it's a 3-hour plot point. It's not real time. I look at the HP, typically, that's a 30-minute plot point, but I didn't even look at that. If I really want to get and understand what's going on, I actually come here. This is the Discover Solar Space Weather Prediction Center over here. This is the solar wind conditions. So what we're seeing is the density is starting to go up a little bit. Speed is still trending down, but it's still fast. It's at 800 kilometers a second right now. That's 2 million miles per hour. And the BZ, you see the -6 back here? Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm gonna put this on a 3-day. Okay, and we can go back and see what happened during the storm. You see what's going on here? We got to, it's severely negatively oriented. And what's kind of interesting, and this happens. Oh, thanks, man, girl. I really appreciate. Hey, you don't even have to do that, okay? Just share it out and do what you can do there. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. I really do. My wife says thank you too. And if you're a mother, happy Mother's Day. But you see how you got the negative 58 here. So this is what happened during the prime time of this storm. It's all highlighted in purple or blue, however your screen is set up, and that's what you see, right? So this is the polarity or the orientation, basically, of the magnetic fields and stuff, and we couple with opposite polarities, because opposite polarities draw each other in. So let's go with, and then when it tailed off here, you see what happened with the BZ? Well, that's about the time that the storm started to wane down, right? Let me go up here and I'll show you. So all these time frames are, they kind of line up, right? And what it does is, it just gives us a history of what happened, right? So, and then the BZ started hanging out really close to neutral. So anything that we were getting hit with in here, that would mean that, let me see here. Sorry, guys. I was checking a technical thing here. I just want to make sure we weren't. Are we 5 for 5? I don't even know if we are. Okay. I think we are, but are we? Can somebody let me know? All right. Hey, Ricky. Hey, Miss V. Good to see everybody. But anyway, I'm going to keep moving. If we're not 5 for 5, I'll stop. But, yeah. So, look what's happening here on the end. Okay, cool. Sorry. I've been a little gun-shy with that, Randy. Because it's just, what happened the other day has really got me gun-shy. But anyway, the BZ here at the -6, right? That's what we look for. That's the threshold. And it got really far in the negative. So, but when it went back to neutral, things started calming down. And what that means is, it doesn't mean we weren't getting hit, because we most certainly were. Okay? Not as hard, but because that polarity change there is why we didn't stay in storm level any longer, or it was even more, as strong. So with that -6 here, we're going back that way now. What does that mean? Most likely that means that we're probably getting hit again. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to change this back to 1 day. So we can look for the KP to start going back up. All right, we're probably getting close to storm level again already. And we also, guys, we've had other flares. This one here is the one we're expecting to hit again. This is a big flare. That's a 5.8 flare. Take it for whatever you want to take it. I'm not going to sit here and argue with people. But even the 5.8 flare is nowhere close to where the flares are from the historic events that caused things like we've seen. It's not close. Not even close. I mean, it's not even in the same ballpark. It's not on the same planet. Let's just put it that way. I mean, we've seen like just massive. Sorry, guys. We've seen massive effects from a solar storm that most likely probably really shouldn't have hit us this hard. Just to be honest. Let me rephrase that. However the storm hit us is how hard it hit us. But the effects we've seen from that, they did seem to be a little bit more than what historically we would have expected. Now, I'm not going to sit here and like play it up like it's some big, huge, discrepancy and all this and all that. And because it's just, to me, it's not. Okay? It's just not. But what I will say is that, there's been a big argument ongoing in this whole subject, like especially around the Aurora subject. Okay, there's a lot of people out there that think that what we got and what we've seen is a result of technology and a new technology. We're just seeing more. Everybody's got a phone in their hand. The cameras on them are way better than they ever could have been 103 years ago, right? But at the same time, we have other effects that's not really being added into the equation either. We have stuff like the increase of light pollution. That's a big one. Okay? Light pollution is the reason I didn't get to see the Aurora. We tried. But I didn't take pictures with my phone. If I'd have pulled my phone out, I would have seen it. So, see how it's like fighting against it? They're fighting against themselves. So it's hard to find out where we land. And I'm not going to tell you where to land on that. Okay? That's not my job here. My job here is to report what's going on. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not going to have a drama here, a drama there, or I agree with this person or that person. I'll tell you my opinion. I'm not agreeing with one person or the other. And that's just the way that it is here. That's why we don't see drama here as much as we see everywhere else. The drama doesn't help anybody. It really doesn't. All it does is take away from the subject matter. That's all it does. You can spend that time talking about what's going on and what's coming instead of talking about whether this person did this or this person said that, whether this person believes this or believes that. That's a bunch of junk, in my opinion. And we're not going to do that here. So, anyway. But, so, I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to nowcast. And that's what's going on. So, this is the complete event. I do believe we are going into another geomagnetic storm, probably currently. Now, let's go back here, and I'm going to show you the eruption that was the 5.8 flare. Let me take a look at something real quick. I just want to make sure I'm getting the right one. Okay. Yeah, we are. We're getting the right one there. Okay, so this is the one I did yesterday. I said snow in space. That 5.8 flare is the one that caused all that. All right, that's that flare. That's the eruption from the flare. That's the CME produced from the flare. Flares and CMEs are two different things. CMEs, highly charged particles, plasma, getting shot out into space in whatever direction. Takes time to get here. If it crosses our magnetic field line, our connection to the sun, which is on this side of the sun, the protons get picked up and it comes back to the detector looking just like this. That's what we see. Hey, Angel Wings, thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Anybody who gets them gifted memberships, tell her thanks, okay, guys? But yeah, guys, so thank you again, Angel. I really do appreciate that. Now, if we're looking at this, that looks pretty intense, right? I've seen this when really bad radiation storm hits. where you couldn't see anything. It was like, it really did look like a 1970s TV that was off air. Couldn't get a signal, right? So that's what I'll say on that one. But at the same time, guys, we haven't seen Aurora in as far south in over 103 years. And here's a report. I'm just going to show this to you. This is in Puerto Rico. First time in 103 years, this event was very significant. It most certainly was. You guys got to understand, this is equatorial here. This is as low as it can get, pretty much. Okay? So, I'm just going to leave that at that. We've seen it, and I think we've seen reports in all 50 states. It was either 49 or 50. I can't remember exactly, but, you know, whatever. You want to split hairs, okay. But what I'll say, guys, this is something that, you know, we talk about this all the time right here. We do. Aurora. When I'm talking about Aurora, what do I say? This is one of the single most indicators we can use that we don't have to use technology to see or to record. You can go outside either with your phone or your eyeballs and look up and say, oh, geomagnetic storm. I mean, you can. That's just what that is. That's a direct space weather effect. Okay? Now, it doesn't have to be a geomagnetic storm. It can be a coronal hole stream that's fairly strong. And depending on where you're at in the planet, you're going to see aurora. I mean, most nights, on, you know, closer to the poles, if you really look, you can go outside and see aurora almost every night. Now, there's going to be times that you can't, and they won't be as evident, but yeah. So, what's that all mean? Well, if you put it in context, like the Carrington event, it was an X80 flare, right? So, you know, obviously you would expect to see aurora everywhere on that kind of a thing. Now, if you go back like 103 years, that's 1921. That was an X50. Okay? The one that just hit us, the flare related with what just hit us, was an X3. Now, this is where the argument starts between people. Okay? So you got an X3 flare creating aurora in Puerto Rico. 103 years ago, it took an X50. Now, let me say this. We all know, and it's, you know, it's in the data, our magnetic field is weakening, okay? And again, here's where the argument starts between people. And I'm not going to participate in that. I'm just going to report to you what's actually true. You know, it's in the data. Our magnetic field is weakening. No doubt about it. And some people will argue that we're in for a magnetic pole reversal, we're in for an excursion, all that stuff. And all of that I just said is a natural cycle. That happens. That will happen. None of us know when it's happening, or, you know, we can look at the data like we are now and try to draw conclusions from that, but we don't know exactly when. And we also don't know exactly the effects. But I will say that we have some really good theories. And then some of those theories are going to fight with each other. So, again, I'm not going to tell you guys how to think. That's just not what I'm going to do. And with that being said, I'm going to come here, I'm going to nowcast, you're going to get the honest data reporting. That's what you're going to see. I'm not going to give you guys, hey, I agree with this over here, or man, that person over there is stupid and dumb. No, I'm not doing that. I've had people ask me to do that. And I'm not going to do that. So those of you guys out there that sent me emails saying, you know, you really need to do this and do it. No, I don't need to do that. I'm not going to do that. And I'm sorry that you feel that I need to. And that's just what it's going to have to be. I hope you guys can appreciate that. Because I try to make sure that I'm on the up and up here. And I don't want to influence somebody's thinking in a way that I'm steering them to what I actually believe, right? If we had you know, if we had something was so in our face, I'll give you my opinion. Okay, you guys know I do that. I do it constantly. And so with that being said, I'm going to let that roll on through. We're going to load that up, but we're going to go here. Come on, load up, would you? Daggone. That thing is just taking forever. Well, screw that then. We ain't going to do that. What we're going to do, we're going to go... We'll let Isla see if it can do a better job. Yes, happy Mother's Day. Hey, Surfer Girl, good to see you. Glad you're here. So, yeah. Now, also, guys, what I want to say is you kind of sparked my thing there a little bit, Surfer Girl. Well, thank you. Yeah, I did I was a speaker at one of his webinars, Pastor Paul. Yeah, Pastor Paul, yeah, guys. Thank you, Pastor Paul, for giving me a shout out. Appreciate you, brother. Guys, get over, you know, especially, it's a Christian channel, and he reports on a lot of stuff, too, over there. So go check it out. Go check it out. But yeah, so... I do stay on top of it, and he knows I do. So, and he, you know, he's like extremely busy too. I don't think the man ever stops. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, it cracks me up. It's funny. So go check it out. Now, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to do something here in the background. I know I sound a little back and forth here a little bit. I'm trying to get this technical stuff worked out here in the background. This thing even going to load? Okay, cool. I don't know why SDO has been having issues loading at any kind of speed, and I don't know why. It's kind of crazy, actually. So let me, what I'm going to do here. Okay, we're just going to let that load and see where it leaves us. Guys, I showed you that flare yesterday. On this same imaging. I don't necessarily need to show it to you today. But that was the X5 flare. But the one that caused all this was an X3. Okay, the biggest part of it. Now, so what we're going to do is I am going to go over here and show you guys NOAA's in-little spiral model. And this NOAA in-little spiral model is going to be... Yes, they do. Got Skywalker. Alicia, killing me over there. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. It really is. It's funny. He cracks me up. So anyway, look at this, guys. I have never seen absolutely anything. It looks like this. This is wow, that's all I can say. I looked at this earlier, and really, some of the updates on this is just came in. Look at all that. That's from the beginning of the storm until, well, when did they update this? Yeah, they just updated this a few minutes ago. So they're even saying here in the next few, we should be seeing an uptick here. Now, what would prevent us from going up into high storms again would be the BZ not going negative. Okay? So, as you guys are seeing that is very significant. So, just let me say that first and foremost. You know, whatever that's worth. It's just, yeah, check that out. Wow. That's a lot, guys. I mean, I dove into it when this first started happening during that stream, the first one. And you can see these first three actually kind of combined when they hit our planet. And then you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. I don't know. I'm not even going to count them. And some of those are going to hit. Some of them aren't. Some of them are going to have the right magnetic polarity to hit us harder. Some of them aren't. Now, I will say this. Okay, guys? What I do want to point out is they were still forecasting us to be able to go into another G5. Okay? That I don't know that that's going to happen. I can't say that it won't. But what I will say is that if we don't, either we're not getting hit directly or the BZ isn't cooperating, okay? If the magnetic fields inside the CMEs that's hitting isn't the right polarity, we will deflect it easier, okay? We won't let it in. So that's the whole issue, okay? As far as do we go back up into G5? Now, I know we seen Aurora reports last night also. I went out and looked last night, and I couldn't see much either. I didn't see anything. And it sucks where I live because of that. But, I mean, we really did. I went out for like a couple hours just trying to get away from the city lights and stuff. And just where I live, I got big cities all around me. And it causes so much light pollution that it makes it hard for me to see anything. But, if I'd have put my phone up, I probably would have seen something through my phone. Because that's what a lot of people are doing. Now, Leah sent me some pictures that are awesome. I'm not sure if she's going to post them on her page. I haven't checked yet. I've been spending most of the day here with my family. I've been trying to stay away from technology today. But, I seen my mom last night. And after that, we went and we actually had a game night. Had a good time with my sister and my mom and my whole family. It was a good time. I needed it. And trying to repair some relationships that I think are happening, which is good for me. It helps my mental stability. I just refuse to go back and live my life in any other way but move forward. And I live my life looking back on the past too much, and through all the stuff that I've been through and my whole family's been through, I refuse to do it. I'm not wasting another second on what happened in the past. It's not worth it, guys. So tell your mamas you love them. Tell your daddies you love them. Tell your kids. Hold your wife tight. Say, hey, you're the best mom that could ever happen. In my case, it's actually the truth. Okay? My sister is a great mother. My mother is a great mother. Great grandmother. Okay? So I'm very fortunate, and I know that a lot of people out there aren't. And it's unfortunate for those guys. But I really do hope that people can find, forgiveness for what's happened in the past. And so what I've chosen to do is that I'm a Christian, so I give it to God, number one. Number two, I refuse to go back and even entertain what happened. I just simply give forgiveness and move forward. And my mental health has been so much better since I started doing that. It's not easy to do, okay? You got to tell yourself to do it sometimes, but it can be done. So, anyway, and also, guys, if you don't think that your family knows that you're mad at them, or if you're having issues, you might want to look at it again, because I promise you, everybody knows, even when you think they don't. And there are no secrets in a family either. Everything is just out there. Even when you think they don't know something, they absolutely do. People are talking. They probably know more about you than what you do. But anyway, latest observed. That is our current conditions. We are no longer in any kind of storm right now. Now that's probably going to change. NOAA has forecasted. Their forecast now is a G4. That's probably going to change again. It looks like it might. G4 should be happening, well, right now. And it's not. So what that means is that either probably both things here. The polarity of the CME probably isn't what's needed to bring stuff in easy. And it's probably moving a little bit slower. Okay? Both of those would drop the effect of a geomagnetic storm. Okay? So just keep that in mind as you're doing this here, guys, as you're looking at this. But yeah. Okay, this is Dr. Tony Phillips. This is spaceweather.com. I show you guys his website every stream because, in my opinion, it's very well done. You get really good information here. It's straight to the point with these little articles. He puts hyperlinks in here that you can click on, which I'm not going to do because he did the work over here, please go give him some traffic. Okay? I don't like to go into the story itself or into any of the links because a lot of these guys, this is how they make their living, guys. Okay? Especially like the Aurora photography. You will very seldom see me click on an Aurora photographer's photo. And the reason why is that's how they make their money. Okay? So when you're clicking on somebody's Aurora photo and showing it to everybody, you're basically, at some level, you could be taking money out of their pocket. So that's kind of why I don't do that. And, yeah. That, and they, you know, most of them, they hold those kind of tight. And they'll tell you, hey, don't use my stuff, right? Now, if it's on a website like this and you're using it as fair use, there's some argument there. And if you're commentating over something, that almost immediately makes it fair use, just so you know. And that's what I do during the live stream. It ain't like I click on it and just use it as is and keep moving, right? I've transformed it in the way that I'm giving you my opinion on it and those kinds of things. But Dr. Tony Phillips over here just does a great job. And the reason like I said, I don't click on the links and read you the stories is you guys, I would love for you guys to come over here and support him also. So if you guys could do that, that would be awesome. Now, so he's talking about here, guys, is the size of this sunspot that caused all this. The majority of it, anyway. 15 Earths, guys. This is Earth. 15 of them. Whoop. Right? So there you go. If you're wondering how big this thing was as far as size, there you got it. I think it ended up around 200,000 kilometers wide is what it ended up being. I'm not sure how big exactly at its biggest as far as how wide it was. But let me say this too. Just because it's big doesn't make it powerful. Doesn't make it unstable enough to be flaring. But this one did. Okay? That's why we're seeing all this. It was harboring enough energy, and it was a combination of two sunspots combining. This thing combined when it was back here. There was another sunspot hanging out right here, and they kind of just combined. And to the point where they just made it one number. It was because there was a sunspot right on the tail end of this thing that had a number. But once the magnetic cores got in there and they started intermingling, it became one sunspot, and they leave the number with the bigger sunspot. So, and that happens. We see that from time to time. That's not a rare thing to see. We see it. It's not common, but we do see it, okay? So just so you know that, it's not like something crazy. But because of that, I do think it added to the complexity of the sunspot. And it's just like, would be like two thunderstorms. We got there, Michael? Let me see if I can't help you out with that question. I've seen a question there. My question is, if it's going to make a significant coronal hole or XYZ. Coronal holes are way different than what we're talking about. Is it Michelle? Michelle Hickey? If I got that wrong, I apologize. But a coronal hole is different, okay? And I can address that for a second. Okay, cool. Check it out. We might be able to get to see this flare real quick. Right there. That's the big 5.8 flare. Okay. Okay, just a second, Ricky. I'll take your question in a second. But the coronal hole, guys, a coronal hole is exactly what it means. A coronal hole is a hole in the sun's corona, and it exposes the surface of the sun. Now, oftentimes you will see with bigger eruptions, okay? And I'm going to show it to you right now. That's that flare. Look what happened to the corona around it. Okay? Yes, it provided a coronal hole for a short amount of time. You see that? Now, it doesn't always stay short, but for the most part, these larger eruptions will create a smaller coronal hole for a very short amount of time. And also, a lot of times around the coronal holes, we'll see eruptions. Okay? Because when you expose the surface, highly charged particles are flowing out. And that's what a coronal hole stream is. It comes and hits us. Okay? And that's what it is. It gets here on a magnetic field line, and if the polarity's right, it can really put us up into high geomagnetic storming. Okay? We see all the stuff we just seen today at a lower level, but yeah. So yeah, but a coronal hole being created by a big eruption like this isn't unexpected, but they don't like it don't just blow back the corona and the corona stay there, right? It'll fill back in rather quickly usually. Okay, I'm sure there's examples out there that that's not the case, that it'll probably blow and the coronal hole will stay there. But this is not a hole in the sun; it's a hole in the atmosphere. Okay, so that atmosphere, when the sun's surface is actually colder than the corona, and they've got theories now why that is. They sent that Parker SP probe out there, the satellite that kissed the sun. It actually got into the atmosphere. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, now let me back this up here. There you go. Now, I hope that helped you there, Michelle Hickey. Ricky, okay, it's been the last hour or so, Piper. It started to affect us. Okay. What was your question, Ricky? Let me know. If you could, type it back in there, and I'll try to answer it for you, okay? Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm actually creating another playlist, guys. I'm going to redo some of the ones that I've done. I'm going to explain what a coronal hole is, what a CME is, what a flare is. They're going to be separate little 2-minute videos. That way I can point you guys there and you can understand a little bit more. So, we saw colors in New Hampshire that are generally seen in Aurora, Australis. Any thoughts? Yes, I have thoughts on that. 100% I have thoughts on that, and probably some pretty decent answers for that. When the stuff comes in like it did, it gets in deeper. So when you're talking about our atmosphere, it's got several layers, and it really doesn't matter to go into those layers right now. But certain molecules in our atmosphere tend to live in certain elevations. Okay? So, like, the most common color in Aurora is green, right? Those are oxygen molecules. So when the highly charged particles excite those molecules, when those molecules are going back down to their ambient condition, their stable condition, that's when they put off the light. During that process of being excited, kind of trying to go back and being excited again, it just depends on what's going on with the storm. But typically, if you're going to see a red or a pink color aurora, there's a couple things that can be going on. The first thing is it's nitrogen molecules. Okay. Yeah, you can see red also with oxygen, but the most typical color is green when you get oxygen molecules doing that. But with the pink, and again, guys, this is all. It's not specific, okay? You can see colors of all kinds at any time, just depending on what's going on and where you're at in the atmosphere around the planet, right? But anyway, typically a nitrogen molecule is going to give you the red or the pink color, and it lives most of the nitrogen lives a little bit closer to the surface. So what that means is the particles got in deeper. Okay, that's just, and this is a very basic way. There's a lot of technical stuff around this. Okay, you guys can go research that all out, and you can spend days. I'm telling you. Okay, but typically nitrogen. The short answer is, Ricky, nitrogen is lower in the atmosphere, and each different molecule will put off a different color. So what it does is it lets us understand how deep it was actually getting in. And if cracks open up anywhere on the planet, we've seen Aurora in Puerto Rico. I mean, come on. That's amazing. Also, guys, sometimes Aurora isn't Aurora. We have other phenomena that have recently been discovered within the past decade or two Stuff like Steve, those are red. But yeah, okay, cool. Thanks, Ricky. I'll check that out. Thank you. I will show them. I love that stuff. But Steve is another phenomenon that we see that actually resembles Aurora, but it's basically generated by high heat, okay, from space weather. So when you get a higher heat, like further up in the atmosphere, again, those molecules are up there and it starts interacting with those, and that heat will actually cause that color to start happening. It's all about, at the end of the day, it's all about what kind of molecule is being messed with, okay? And how do we know what kind of molecule it is? It's not 100% that it's always going to put off the exact same color either. Yeah, he came to visit us, didn't he? Yeah. Oh, I guarantee you, Steve, we see some Steve phenomenon too. We've probably seen every Aurora effect that you can see. This is one of those kinds of storms, okay? That's a great question. Thank you for that. That's yeah. And again, guys, if I'm wrong and somebody shows me where I am wrong, I promise you I'll come out and correct myself. But I've done some research on that, and, you know, maybe I didn't explain it exactly how I needed to, but I'm trying to get it right. And if I got it wrong, I'll come out and tell you where I'm wrong. Somebody send me an email, tell me how wrong I am, and I promise you I'll come out here and tell everybody, hey, I was wrong on that. Now, I'm not going to say that an oxygen molecule can't create another color besides green either. I don't know that for 100%. But I do know the main color with oxygen molecules would be green. And nitrogen, again, is like that pink reddish color. And here's something else I want everybody to understand. When you put your phone up there and you take a picture of it, because your eyes can't see a lot of the aurora, you have to take into consideration what kind of lens and filter your phone's using. Is there something higher than a G5, Sherilyn asks? Yes. Higher than G5 is Killing Blow. Yes. Well, I wouldn't say Killing Blow. Let me do this for you, okay? I actually got a way to kind of show you what's going on with that. And it is using the HP. So let's go to that, if I can find it. Stereo USG, NOAA magneto model. Where the heck is that stupid Canadian space weather? Good gosh, Mark, where's it at? There it is. Okay, what I'm going to show you here is something that most people don't show you. Okay, this is the HP. It's basically the same indice as the KP, which is what we use to measure how strong geomagnetic activity is, right? So a KP or an HP of 8, like right here, would be a G2 level storm. But what I want you guys to pay attention to is down here. Right about, see this? This is the HP. These are 30-minute averages that get plotted. The one I typically show you, this one, is 3 hours. So that's why, you know, over here we get a more real time. You guys see that right there? You know what that hit right there was? That was an 11 and a half. No, there is no kill shot tonight, guys. I really fight against that word kill shot. Let me tell you why. Most likely that is not going to be what's going to knock our power out anyway. If we get a kill shot, you can pretty much just bet that, yeah, it won't be, yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that, Ricky. The BZ is a very key to what we talk about in all of what I just said. That's awesome, RK. Yeah, if we go back up into storm level, you might be able, you got a chance. But anyway, that's 11 and a half, guys. This one over here doesn't even go past 9. I mean, I'm sure it does in their graphing, like behind the scenes, but it's possible to go higher. And that's what I'm saying. Those are those quick little bam, like the initial just whack. And that's exactly what was going on. Carrington, yeah, it's funny. Yes, 7th dimension. Yes, that's a very temporary hit right there. And for all intents and purposes, what that does is it really just rings our magnetic field like a tuning fork, and it makes whatever's behind it get in more. Just in my opinion. And I know I'm not the only one that shares that opinion, but at the same time, that's what we got to look at. That's a good indication of, hey, we're getting hit with something big. That's not normal to see. I can tell you that. That's very rare. Now, we came back down to a G5, and we went back up to a 10.5, back down again, and then we got another hard hit. So here's the thing. I think what was going on here, we got hit, right, with that initial, like, triple cannibal CME. And when that shockwave from that last one hit, it busted us up here. So we came back down, and then the CME behind it, when it arrived, it added to it. And look, you can almost see these peaks. When you see these peaks, it could be each individual CME hitting. Hey, Trinity, good to see you, girl. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Grandma's Day, too. I have to say that always. Planet Max, what's up? But yeah, guys, so when you look at these graphs, that's what you can kind of, conclude from these things, is you can kind of see that if you really detail out the data. And, again, there's going to be some people that are way higher in the pay grade than what I am. I'm the guy in the back, with his head down, just don't even want to raise his hand. But, hey, Cat, good to see you. But, yeah, guys, it's, it is one of those things. Yeah, and again, I understand that people are going to have different opinions. And I encourage everybody in my chat to have different opinions and voice what they actually believe. But do it in a respectful way, please. That's the only thing I ask. You can't attack another channel. I don't care if you think I hate them, like them, whatever. First off, I don't hate anybody. I might not like the way somebody acts or their personality, but it doesn't mean that their information's bad. Okay? They might put it out there in a really nasty way, and I typically won't send people that direction because of that. But yeah, so with all that said, I do want people to understand that things can happen, they do happen, and they will continue to happen. Well, thank you, Miss Blessed Garden. I really do appreciate that. Guys, I can't tell you how blessed I've been the past few weeks, even, okay? Even before. You guys have shown me such another side of humanity that I thought was lost. Now, I'm just being real with you. Most people are just stuck on what's going on in their own little world and don't really care about what's going on outside of it. And you guys have really shown me that I was wrong in that. There are still people out there like me. Hey, Jill, good to see you. That's one of my internet mamas from down in the south part of the United States. I don't want to say where you live, but yeah. So yeah, just a quick question. We break all the magnetic bands with radiation and extreme heat enter our atmosphere. Drake, it for our magnetic connections and all of our magnetic lines to break like that. You're not going to have to worry about much of anything because you're probably, it's going to, a hit like that, in my opinion, would probably just rip our atmosphere completely out. We would be Mars. Okay. If it's going to rip all the magnetic bands off, a hit like that, that right there is the quote unquote kill shot. Okay, and most of those are going to come from either like a micronova or something like that. You could get a super flare, I guess, could do that. And those are all just levels of shots from stars. Don't think that our sun can't do that, because it absolutely can. I'm not saying that it's going to. I'm just saying that, yeah, it's a star. It can do it. So, just so you know. Mars looks like the reason it does, because it lost its atmosphere. You know, if you go back in history, and all the data shows that it was very habitable at one point. Yeah. So, but anyway. So, what do we got going on, guys, coming? Well, that's the big question, right? I can't give you 100% on anything. Like I said, I can give you a nowcast, and that's what I'm going to do. My opinion, I do think we're going to go back up into storm level. Do I think we're going to get to a G5 this time? No, I do not. Okay? I think that ship has sailed at this point. Do I think that it's possible? Yeah. I'll give you a percentage. I think it's probably right around a 25 to 30% chance we might get back up to G5 level. It would not surprise me, even though that's kind of a lower percentage. But for me, it's not expected at this point. That's what I'll just say. Okay? And anybody, guys, if one of my moderators, if you guys could, well, I think this link to this site is in my description box. I highly encourage you guys to go over here and check out this German space weather site, okay? Because this HP, in my opinion, gives you a more detailed, up-to-minute, real-time look at what's going on. So that's just what I'll say. And you can kind of see more what's going on as it's happening, and that's what I'm trying to tell you here. And you can see how we dropped out the storm level, right? See how we stayed here? But the other graph takes whatever data comes in between 15 and 18, and instead of giving you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars there, they give you 1. So even though this right here, like this up here, got to a G2 level, you wouldn't know that if you took the average of 6 of these, because it would drop that down. And that's okay to do it like that, because it's an overall picture. But if you're looking for like just that single hard thing that started something, you need this. Or if you know exactly what you're looking at, you need this. This is the space weather data. If you can understand space weather at a level without having to look at a model, you are well on your way to knowing what you're talking about, okay? Because that's where you got to get at the end of the day. Now, most everybody's listening to me, they don't want to do that, and I understand that. That's what I'm doing. Hey, Jammer, good to see you, my brother. Fellow Hoosier, baby. Heck yeah. So anyway, that's why I do what I do, right? I don't typically have to look at a model to tell me what's actually coming. Or, well, the model was a forecast model, so yeah, I have to look at that, tell me what's coming. But to tell you what's actually happening, I can simply, it would be a very boring video, but I can come over here and say, look, guys, hey, check out the density, the wind, and the temperature. Check out the BZ, it's in the negative. And I can say, hey, we're going to be in a storm level here in just a few minutes. Check it out right here. We got a R1 flare. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I mean, I could do that, but I'm not, because I understand that is a very boring thing to do. You know, we're learning, but we're also being entertained at the same time. I don't watch channels that aren't entertaining at all. If this doesn't entertain me, I'm not going to do it. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be like, oh man, we'll sit down with popcorn and watch a movie. But if it ain't holding my attention like that, I'm going to click off. And I get that. I get it. Now, I'm not talking like 1 minute TikTok click off type of attitude, but I'm talking more so on the lines of, hey, yeah, that's interesting. Let's stop and think about this for a minute. That kind of thing. You know, I'm not going to show you guys a bunch of graphs all the time. It's just not going to happen. It's just so boring. I think it's boring. Now, with me saying that, I'll show you a model here we still got all these sunspots, even though this one's facing, getting ready to go the other side. We got one up here that's not playing no games. Okay? And what I mean by that is this. Watch here. You see that? That went off the backside. That sunspot is rotating in. We got one here on the south that's rotating in also. I'll take you to the next day here, and we'll see it start doing its thing. Right there. Right there. See them? Okay? So these are sunspots coming at us. Now, anything that blows off over here right now is still coming from the big one. But that one that went to the south, that's still on the backside. It's coming around. All these things are still happening. There was one there on the front that blew. It might have been that one. But you can still see kind of a faint halo. Now, if that's on the backside, it's going to look as the same if it's on the front. Because that's a physical disc. So we have to look at the other models like where did I do with the SDO? Right here. You got to look at SDO. So if you see it flare and CME at the same time, these are all from our point of view. So that means, yeah, that's coming our way, right? At least it's on this side of the sun. We used to have stereo A, and unfortunately, we no longer have it out there on the side. That was such a great resource, and it sucks that we don't have it anymore. We can still view its images that it's still doing, but it is hanging out here close to our planet. This is stereo A. But you're seeing the same look, right? That I just showed you from Soho. Soho's 1 million miles closer to the sun. This one's hanging out close to us. But it used to be, I'll show you, way over here. It gave us a backside view of the sun. A side and backside view. So it gave us a different perspective, and what that did was it allows us to point a line and give us a better understanding of what direction it's going. So that's what I'll say. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and pop off, guys. I got some Mother's Day stuff still left to do. Thank you guys. If anything else big happens, I'll be here to tell you about it. Don't let your guard down though. Hey, who said they wanted to see Aurora on the 5th, or Mother's Day? Whoever said that, check it out right here. Look. This is their forecasting. So if you run this model, we'll run this model real quick for you, okay? If you want to know the model here, just come over here to Space Weather Prediction Center, and it's on the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard. So if we go like this, and it looks like I said, guys, we're getting hit right now. That's why that's increasing. See that? So that's probably going to continue, and the timing, depending on where you're at, it's actually lining up that we're going to probably see Aurora again here in the States. So you got a chance. If you want to take your wife out and see that, that'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Hey, Alicia. All right, guys, I am going to pop off. Tell Pastor Paul I said, hey, by the way. Oh, goodness. All right. Love all you guys. Go watch everybody. Go check out my awesome channel list. Yeah. Let's do that. Okay, guys. God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.